Hey guys, welcome to the Magfed Paintball channel, and today I'm going to be doing a little myth busting. But before I get into it guys, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, share, and comment. Alright guys, let's get into it. So the myth busting topic I'm going to discuss today is, can you set up your loadout, pretty much your whole marker Magfed first strike playing loadout, for under $1,000? Okay guys? So yeah, let's break it down individually, one by one, and then see if we can get it under that $1,000 price range. Okay, guys. So first things first, of course, let's talk about the markers, right? So I have two platforms here for you guys. Now, obviously, in the conditions, in the setup that these markers are in, that already exceeds $1,000, right, guys? Because with the optics, with the risers, with the barrels, with the hand guards, with the air tanks, with the butt stocks, with the sling mounts, suppressors, iron sights, all these things you're going to add on to the marker, it's going to be well over $1,000, right? $1,400, $1,800, right? Custom Cerakoting, all this other stuff is going to add to the price of a marker, right? But if you're talking about just the base markers, right, the T15 with the air tank, and obviously the standard first strike configuration, right, which is kind of just their hand guards. They have two different versions now, right, guys? So go check and look at those. But with their air tank and their hand guards, you're looking anywhere between $600 to $700 for a ready to play out of the box package, right? It's first strike ready, first strike capable. Now, granted, it doesn't have rifle barrels. It doesn't have the optics for you, right? It doesn't have extra magazines, those type of things, but it is a functional marker out of the box that you can play with pretty much right away. Now, the M17 is a little bit different, right? In its standard configuration from Valken, you're looking at about $350 to $400, guys. So that's what it's averagely going for, but it doesn't include an air tank. So with the additional air tank, depending which one you get, you're looking anywhere between $80 to $100. And so, right around $450, $500 at the most is going to be, probably still closer to $450 is kind of what you're going to need to get an M17 fully functional for you to be able to play with one magazine, right? Now, cool thing about the T15, it comes with two magazines. But at least the M17 comes with one magazine, and it's about $200 cheaper, right? So with that extra $200 cost savings, you can definitely pick up some extra magazines, and you can definitely pick up some more gear with it. Okay, guys, so that's the starting point that I'm starting it with, guys. I'm not starting out with kind of what these markers, our markers are already set up with. But to get under that $1,000 budget, that's kind of what we're going to be starting with. All right, so the M17, we're starting at $450, and the T15, we're gonna break that split, right? So sometimes you can find some for $6, sometimes you can find them for $7. So I'm gonna say $650, right? So $450, $650 is the starting point. Okay. Next thing you guys gonna need is magazines, right? And depending upon the position that you're gonna play, you're gonna want at least 4 to 7 magazines, right? So I kind of want to give you guys some examples here. With our M17 style of markers, I definitely recommend more of a DMM or a sniper position, right, guys? Because the M17 is definitely not as efficient as the T15, but it's going to be a little bit more consistent. And so it's going to have a little bit more accuracy when it comes to those long range shots. And so with this marker, you're going to want a more low volume of fire, right? It also obviously is a bigger platform. It follows more of the AR-10 style platform, guys. And so all the magazine pouches you're going to want to get. This one here is the 10-speed chest rig from Blue Force Gear, guys. Really nice setup, very slim, very minimalistic. It comes with 3 magazine pouches already built into it, but it has extra MOLLE on the sides if you want to attach their additional available magazine pouches or whatever other magazine pouches you guys want to get that will work with these magazines or any other accessories. So you definitely can carry up to 5 magazines with this chest rig, guys, but standard with 3 already. And so for a
Standard loadout for a DMM or a sniper, 4 magazines is kind of the minimum that I would start with. Okay, so that's a really good setup. Now this chest rig is right about $80 to $100, and so that's going to add to the cost of the M17. Now we're at $550, guys, right? With the 4 extra magazines that you'll need, or let's say 3 extra magazines, we'll just do 3 because it comes with 1 already. 3 extra magazines, you're going to be looking at right about $100. You know, $80 to $100 with shipping and tax, depending on whether you buy, right? So now we're talking about another $100. I'm kind of pushing this on the high side, guys, just so that way you take into account all those extra, you know, shipping costs or whatever. So 100 for the chest rig, 100 for a set of extra magazines, right? Anywhere between 4 to 5 extra magazines. I'm sorry, 3 to 4 extra magazines. So now you're looking at about $650 for just the standard package with the magazines that you need, with the chest rig to hold it. Okay, guys? So that's where the M17 at is about $650. Now on the T15 side, once again, you can't play with just kind of your minimum of 4 magazines as well too, guys, but with the T15s, especially if you're going to be building more of an assaulter build like this MR416D marker clone of ours, you're going to want more magazines because you're obviously trying to engage the enemy, so you're going to be wanting closer to 7 magazines total, but at least 5, guys. And so that's kind of what I have here is just kind of your minimalistic 4 magazine chest rig. So you're going to have 4 in the chest rig, 1 in the marker. That's for a total of 5. And then this chest rig, guys, was a little bit more affordable. This one was made by One Tigress. I really like it. Very minimal. Has everything you need for your primary magazines, and then extra pistol magazines as well too, and obviously kind of just like an administrative pouch that you can put extra stuff in. But this one was only around like $60 to $70. So let's just say I rounded up to $70. Okay, so the marker was $650 plus $70. That's $720, right? We need at least 3 extra mags, right? Because the T15, cool thing about it, it already comes with 2 mags, 3 extra magazines, very similar to the M17. You're looking at about another $80 to $100. So $720 plus $100, you're looking at about $820. Okay, guys. So now we're looking at about $820 and $650. Okay. Now, of course, you're gonna want to get goggles. Okay, guys. So yeah, let me grab a goggles real quick for you guys. So guys, the goggles. So I have 2 goggles here to show you guys. Now, I would recommend you guys, as always, to try to splurge a little as much as possible on your equipment so that way you're not having to buy it twice. So if you can't afford it, and so far we're under our $1,000 budget, right, guys? So I would get a nice goggles like these Push Unite goggles, or you know, the Dye i5s or i4s, especially with the i4s being an older model. They have gone down in price a little bit, but you know, these goggles are going to run you about $150 to $200. So let's say $200 on the high side for a really nice set of goggles that are very, once again, I told you guys, very magazine specific as well, with the, you know, with the slimmer, more flexible cheek protector. So that's going to add $200 to our total now, guys, which is going to bring it up to, we're at $820 on the T15. So, right, $820 plus $200, we're over our $1,000 budget now, right, guys? We're at $1,020. Okay. However, on our M17 build, that we're only at $650. So with the Push Unite goggles, if you wanted to splurge that money, now we're only at $850 on the M17 build. Now, well, what type of goggle options do we have for the T15 then to get it under budget? Guys, I did a video on this one. I didn't do a review yet, but I mentioned this was some goggles. I believe it was the Predator goggles from my friends over at Extreme Velocity in Oregon. This one was only around the $70 to $80 price range, I believe, for these goggles. It's pretty much kind of like a Dye i4 clone. It's dual pane. You know, it obviously doesn't have all the fancy markings and features. Has a little bit less padding and foam, but for the most part, it fits the same size. The cheek is very slim and flexible as well, so it definitely works well with magazine fed markers, guys. So this could be a good alternative for you if you're trying to go under budget for that $1,000 budget that we have. So $820, guys, plus $80, we're looking at $900. So we still got $100 left for our T15 setup with that setup, and of course we still have $150 left, right, with our M17 setup. And so, guys, what would you do? You know, what would I recommend for that extra $100 or $150? Now, guys, I'm not taking into account like your apparel, right? I'm assuming you guys have some pair of like, you know, old BDUs out there, or you know, you just use whatever apparel clothes that you're already playing right now with your paintball. Or shoot, you know, you can just kind of look like one of those Blackwater contract guys, right? Just wear jeans, t-shirts, and a freaking hoodie or whatever, a flannel, right, guys? You don't got to get all dressed up into like BDU camos, multicam to play the part, right? You can definitely look kind of like a private contractor, right? So I didn't take into account the clothes or the boots, guys, but with that remaining $100 and $150, what I would do is not get optics, right, guys? Because obviously with optics, that's going to pretty much blow that budget out of the water, right? Even with some of the more affordable optics that we can get. But what I would do is get first strike rounds, guys. Right, with that $150, we can get at least, you know, close to a case of first strike rounds, or we can definitely get some rounds, you know, a decent amount of rounds with those first strike rounds, because we're gonna need those rounds to test the marker, zero it, you know, dial in your chrono, and obviously just practice with, so that way you can obviously, you know, learn how to use your marker, tear it down. Anyways, guys, go watch the, you know, my video about the top 5 things that you need to obviously do when you first get your marker, and I have it broken down in terms of what you want to do to learn more about your marker. Okay, guys. But yes, that was the video, guys. Can we get our loadout to be ready to be able to play under $1,000? And definitely we can. Now, will it be as fancy as these markers that I have on top of the table here for you guys to show? Will it be, you know, obviously the most accurate because we won't have rifle barrels and, you know, all that type of stuff with the optics? No, it won't be. But you have a capable marker, first strikes, you have enough magazines, you have a chest rig to be able to hold your magazines, to be able to go play with. You have your safety goggles that will work with a magazine fed setup. And so you have a good starting point to start playing for under $1,000. So guys, what's the hold up? Start playing Magfed FSR paintball today. Okay, guys. If you guys like that video, smash that like button. Check you guys next time. Peace.